Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. At the end of this program, I want to say something. Since this week is Kinus HaShluchim, so I want to say a vot that Rabbi Chadakov was speaking with Rabbi Mindel, and what Rabbi Chadakov said in the week of Kinus HaShluchim, HaHero for Shluchim. That I'll say at the end of this program. This program is a continuation of last week's program. Last week we mentioned that everything in the world has a body and has a soul. Shabbos also has a body and has a soul. Also the husband is called the soul and the wife is called the body. So the wife, she starts the Shabbos with lighting candles, and the husband with Havdalah, he ends the candles, he finishes the Shabbos by Havdalah candle. Shabbos begins with her, the Akeres Habayis. The way she conducts herself, lighting candles, the way she serves on Shabbos the food, the way she dresses tznius, the way she dresses clothes on Shabbos, they can clothes the children, Akeres Habayis. This gives Shalom Bayis to the husband, and this gives the ruchnis for the whole week. It starts with her. The husband, he's the head, and she's the neck. Wherever the neck turns, that's where the head goes. As we learned last week in the Torah, Koil asher omar sora shma bekoila. Whatever the woman, whatever Sora will tell you, listen to her. Bino yiseiro nitno. She has a certain understanding, and that's why when the Eibishter gave the Torah, the Eibishter said, "Koisayma lebeis Yaakov." Speak to women first. If you want the Torah should have a kiyum, speak to women first, because she will have an influence on the husband. And as the Rabbi once mentioned in a letter, Eizehu ishok sheira ha'oiser etzayin bala doesn't mean only that who is a woman, who is a kosher woman that does the will of a husband, but ha'oiser etzayin bivalo. She gives a ratzon, a will in her husband. This is called a ishok sheira. So Shabbos begins with her. The way she conducts herself, that's the way the family will be. The Akeres Habayis. So when we come home from shul on Shabbos, before Kiddush, we say Eishes Chayil Mi Yimtzo. This is a continuation of my prayer. A woman of valor who can find. The heart of her husband trusts in her. And then it ends up with Sheker Achein, the Hevel HaYofe, grace is false, and beauty is vain. Isha Yiras Hashem Hit is halal. A woman that fears the Eibishter. This is the most important. So when we enter Shabbos, we give amazing praise to the wife and to the mother. As we say in Eshes Chayil, she does good and no evil in the days of her life. She takes care of her home, her husband, her children. She is kind to the poor and to the needy. She speaks with wisdom and loving kindness. And the most important thing is she's she's God-fearing woman. So the Rebbe explains deeper this Eishes Chayil in a deeper sense. Eishes Chayil is the Torah, to which the Jewish people are married. And Torah is the wife, and Jews are the husband. The Jew, this is the Agor from the Rebbe wrote here, the Jew trusts in the Torah, and the Torah takes care of the Jew. Eishes Chayil. As Reb Shimon Bar Yochai said, that when the Eibishter created the world, created Shabbos, Shabbos said to the Eibishter, every day you created has a mate. Sunday has Monday, Tuesday has Wednesday, Thursday is Friday. Shabbos is alone. So Shabbos complained, he wants a mate. So the Eibishter answered, your mate, your chassan, is the Jewish people. Jews cannot be without Shabbos. So just like Jews cannot be without Torah, so they can be without Shabbos. Shabbos is Yidden. And that's why Goyim, when they keep Shabbos, Chai Bisa. Shabbos has no shaykhs to Goyim. We are married to the Yidden. That's the Shabbos, Shabbos Kiddushin. Kiddushin means also together, married. This week is Chai Soreh. And this week is also, we have Avram and Soreh. Avram is the husband. Avram is the Neshama. And Soreh is the Guf. But as the Rebbe mentioned, Vatomo Soreh, the Guf died. Soreh died. Bekiryas Arba. Arba means four. The Guf is made out of four. Of Eish, Mayim, Ruach, and Nofor. Fire, water, air, and dust. When these four are connected, becomes a guf. That's how you make a guf, a body. Then Avram Avinu, then the neshama comes and cries, because the neshama without a guf is cannot. The neshama needs the guf, because shofesh sho achas b'tshuva u'masim tovim in this world is more than anything else. So if a neshama doesn't have a guf, then the neshama can accomplish what it's supposed to. And this is connected to this parsha. So here I want to say, talking about Eishes Chayil, I want to say a word. Maybe a couple years ago I mentioned it, but it's this a word for Rabbi. It's a very interesting word, I think. We say in Eishes Chayil, Sheker Achein, V'hevel HaYofi, Isha Yeres Hashem, Hitizalo. False is favor, Chein. The ikir is, the main thing is a woman that fears God. So the Rebbe asks, in an English letter, he mentioned beauty by a woman is shakar achein hever ayofi is nothing. First of all, the Gemara says that all Jewish women are beautiful. And besides, if beauty is nothing, it's Sarah. It said Torah says Sarah was beautiful, Rivka was beautiful, Rachel was beautiful. If beauty is nothing, why does the Torah mention it? And not only that, the Rebbe mentioned that Esther HaMalka, the whole Nes miracle of Purim happened because Esther HaMalka was beautiful. So why do we say Sheker Achei Bevel HaYofi? So he says like this: Sheker Achein, Hachein is Hei Ches Nun Chana. Hey is Hadlokas Haneris. Ches is Chalo, Nun is Nito. When these three things are sheker, when Hadlokas Haneris is false, and he explains there, false doesn't mean she doesn't light candles. We're not talking about women that don't light candles. She lights candles, but it's not important. She makes it fast because she has to do other things. Bishas, a woman lights candles, and she closes her eyes. And she can ask the Eibishter for the best in the world, but by her she does it fast and it's not important. That's called sheker. Or challah. Why does she have to bake challah? She can go to the store and buy challah. Challah, you make a bracha. But why does she doesn't want to get busy with that. She can make it easier to go and buy challah. Does she have to make a bracha over challah? And besides, the Rabbi didn't mention it, but besides, a lot of women that bake challah, it's a zgula for shidduchim. It's a whole Indian of baking challah. But by her, it's not important. Or, Nida, Taris HaMishpacha. She goes to the mikveh. But she doesn't realize the importance of having kosher children and having children, healthy children, good children, as we spoke many times. But by her, she does it, but it's not 100%. Sheker Achein, when these three things are sheker, then Hevel HaYofi. Then beauty is nothing. Beauty is important, but beauty is important only if you have the other kind of beauty. Beauty, today you're beautiful, you have a nose, this kind of nose, and in 10 years your nose changes, so there's nothing. That's only temporary. But when the real beauty, then that's called, so that's a sheker achim. What these three things are sheker, then hevel hayofer. Why? The Rebbe says, because isha yiras Hashem hitis halal. The most important thing is a woman that fears the Eibishter. And the Eibishter gave her these three mitzvahs because these three mitzvahs are to separate. She was given separation. Shabbos, she brings in the Shabbos. She makes a havdalah, a separation between weekdays and Shabbos. Soon as she lights the candles and she says good Shabbos, the whole home knows it's Shabbos. Challah, she takes a piece of challah, she makes it ruchnias, she takes from gashmias and she puts it on a fire, she makes a bracha. And Nida, she separates when it comes time to separate. She tells her husband, now I have to separate. So the koyach of separation was given to her. And not only that if you want to know if the child is Jewish or not, doesn't depend on him, depends on her. So hamavdil bein kodesh l'chayil, bein oil l'chayshech, bein Yisrael l'amim is only the Jewish woman. This is the tayerkeit of a Jewish woman. Now, I said before that I want to mention a word about the kinus. You know that many times Rabbi Chadikov was the head of Shluchim. And he used to discuss with Rabbi Mindel many times when it came to kinus sut ninyanim, which I have written down, and maybe we'll mention it sometimes. But one of the things I want to say, what Rabbi Chadikov mentioned, and this was in the mems. Rabbi Chadikov always said like this. Rabbi Mindel wrote this down. Shliach shalodom k'moisai. If a shliach doesn't do exactly what the Rebbe, then he's not a shliach. That's what he says. The shliach has to know what is an ikar and what is a tofel. What's the main thing and what is not the main thing. When a shliach wakes up in the morning, he says, "Matoivu oyalecha Yaakov mishkan Yisachar Yisrael." He has to know one thing: what's an oyel and what's a mishkan. Oyel is temporary. A shliach has to have a Chabad house. It's important. He has to have a car, he says. He has to have where to go. This is important. But he has to know this is only a tofel. This is not an ikar. That's why it says Yaakov. Yaakov is a Yid, is called Yaakov, is Akev. That's the lower level. That's the heel. He has to have it, but that's not the most important. Mishkenoisecha Yisrael. He has to know, he has to think to himself, he writes here, think at the Kinus HaShluchim he mentioned, how many people did you put on film this year? So you should worry about putting on film more than how the Chabad house is going to look. It's important to have a Chabad house. It's important to have the Gashmias. But is that the most important? So Mishkaneisecha v'osul imigdosh v'shachanti b'seicham. That's the important thing. The important thing, what's in the Chabad house, the ruchnias. How many talmidim are going to yeshiva? How many did you come? People that you learn Torah with? This is the most important. This is what they were discussing around that Kinus HaShluchim. So since today is the Kinus HaShluchim, so I thought I would just mention this word, the discussion between Rabbi Mindel and Rabbi Chadikov about this. This is a word from Rabbi Chadikov. So Yimir Hashem, next week we'll continue our weekly program. Thank you.